Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you are well. Welcome to episode 114 of CrossButtonVR, our journey into the world of VR. I'm your host, Wait, no, I'm not. I'm Reece. And it's an honour to be joined by Hippie Pickle. How you doing, mate?
Not too bad yourself.
Yeah, it was daunting this.
It's
I
daunting.
wasn't looking forward
Being
to it.
in charge.
Yeah, I did this once before, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm never gonna have to do that again." Laurie, don't leave. And then he's dropped the bomb. Oh, I'm gonna take a bit of a break. So yeah, thanks for that, Laurie. Appreciate it a lot, mate.
No pressure, no pressure.
Yeah. Although I don't think I did too bad there, you know. Anyways, we've got a bit of a not a majorly packed episode, but we've got a bit of news. Quite a few games we've been playing throughout this week. So I mean, we're not going to go over a topic. There's not really anything I thought of a topic, especially with the first week and getting everything all organised, because I now have to have all the tabs open of every single thing. You know, the joys of hosting something as opposed to just being that co-host that sits there and just responds back. The fun side of being on a podcast.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Yeah, that's the fun side of being on a podcast. If you ever get the joy of being on a podcast, it's either be a guest or be a co-host. Okay, so just bear that in mind if you ever go on a podcast. But
or you just do it. You just do it live, and then you don't have to edit it. You know. but then stuff can go down.
You say some things that you probably shouldn't say, and then you go, "Ooh, I do. You probably shouldn't say that." Yeah. But no. Anyways, before we jump into it, if you would like to support us, please give this podcast a sub on the service you're using. If you're watching us on YouTube, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe. And why not leave us a comment while you're at it? You can find us on Twitter and Blue Sky at CrossButtonVR, and now also on Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com, where you can support us and help pay for all the things that keep the lights on around here. So if you do that, we appreciate it a lot. Big shout out to Golu, who is a monthly membership on that. Appreciate it a lot, man. Thank you so much. So yeah, we'll go dive straight into the news. The one that I say didn't come as a surprise to me, and it's a game that I've been wanting to come over, and it now marks the third game on the PSVR2 with hand tracking, and that is Maestro.
Yeah, I was really hoping after we got What's the Wizard, and then we got Masters of Light. So I really was hoping, but this is going to be the next one what came over, because I think it's a better example of hand tracking uses than anything else, really.
So this is probably one of my most favourite games on Quest in terms of hand tracking. And the fact that you can just, even the game says to you, pick up like a stick or something, or a straw,
chopstick.
Or anything. Get yourself a chopstick before buying this game. But anything to kind of give you that kind of a feeling that you are really the maestro of this, and it works so well. And I'm really hoping that the port on the PSVR2 works equally as well. I don't see why it shouldn't. But yeah, if anyone is looking at this one,
I only played the demo, and obviously you've played the full game.
Played demo?
Yeah, I've only played the demo so far, but I absolutely loved it. I've just got such a backlog. I've just not had a chance to, get around to picking it up really. But
you haven't picked it up?
No, but I was seeing from the trailer for PSVR2 that the backgrounds and stuff looked really, really detailed. I'm not sure how that compares to what the Quest does, or if it's actually is that been enhanced, because it seemed to be a lot going off in the background, didn't there?
The lighting and it does look a little bit better in the terms of that, which is, I think, no surprise there. It doesn't ever look bad on Quest. I've only ever noticed like once or twice there's been frame drops on the Quest, but that's only when there's like a lot of notes or going backwards and forwards to the different parts of the actual orchestra themselves. But I mean, the game itself runs perfectly fine on Quest, and you won't get a bad example of the game planning on that platform. But the fact that it's coming over to PSVR2, I think it's such a great thing for. Yeah, it's one everyone needs to pick up. It's a really good game. I'm sure we'll be commenting on how the port actually is and let you know how it works. If you're not a fan of hand tracking, you can also play it with the controllers. But I will say, and I think Hippie himself will agree with me here, this game is made for hand tracking. It was not made for controllers.
Yeah. So, definitely. It's good. If you're conducting an orchestra, other than tapping your baton on the podium, what kind of haptics are you going to feel, or you're not?
Yeah.
So hand tracking just makes perfect sense. And I know Brian over Without Parole is not a fan of hand tracking. He thinks it's a gimmick, but I'm hoping this game might change his mind. So,
do you know what? I can understand some people's views of that on hand tracking. For me, I mean, yeah, it's one of the things where it's like, I look at it more as of a way, just another way for you to play your game. It doesn't have to be the permanent way, and nor should it always be the permanent way. It's just another way for you to go, I've experienced it like this. There's other games that have hand tracking. I mean, Walks of the Wizard, for instance. Yeah, the hand tracking's cool on it, but I would never play that game with with the hand tracking on. It's finicky. It's
the movement. It's the movement. The movement is what's the problem.
Yeah.
But like games like Demio, when you're playing a board game, you just pick up your pieces. That's really good for it. You don't really need the haptics or anything really. But there's good examples and there's not so good examples.
There's still one game I really want to come over to PSVR2, and I don't know if they'll ever do it because it does have a mixed reality mode. But I mean, they could always just kind of do the VR side of it. Toy Monsters, and not a lot of people really talk about this game that much on Quest, but it was one of the first games I played with hand tracking, and it's basically Plants versus Zombies in mixed reality, and you also use your hands to kind of shoot laser beams, and you can tap the zombies to stun them. And I tell you what, that was just, for the first experience, like hand tracking, I was like, this is awesome. And like, I don't know why, it kind of played a trick on my mind. Like when I was shooting like the electric out of my hand, I was like, my hand feels like it's heating up a little bit because I can see electric coming out of it.
That placebo effect,
yeah, it really triggered me there. And no, I think that'd be a really cool one to come over to PSVR2 for the hand tracking, because it felt really cool. There was never a moment it didn't. So I'm excited to see what more hand tracking games come over. And I mean, with that, is there another one you would like to see come over?
I've not played that many on the Quest, to be honest. A couple of indie games what use it pretty well. There's a spaceship, Galactic Space Control, very little indie game. It's just routing spaceships, but it's all about the mixed reality, so it wouldn't really work. Although they have got a seated mode. They've made it miniature, so you can actually just play it sat in your chair. So there's always options, I suppose. But I think the main sell of that is being the mixed reality, and I think a lot of them use the mixed reality with the hand tracking as well. Cubism and things does that, don't they? And with the hands,
Cubism is such a good one. Even if that came over to PlayStation, like, just put it in a VR space, similar to what Walltown Wonders did, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, but, always options. Yeah. Always options.
But a thing to mention as well: if you do pre-order the game, you get the Star Wars. It's the Star Wars Episode 1 theme DLC for free if you pre-order it. So it's a good chance to get an extra song as well.
A good incentive. So I'm not sure what what the DLC price is like on the Quest.
I can't remember.
Do they come in packs or the individuals, do you think?
I think I had it in a pack on the one I did. I should have brought that up. I didn't think he was going to ask. It wasn't your job.
I'm testing your hosting skills. If you go on kind of Beat Saber kind of line, it's usually a couple of quid, aren't there, and things like that. So
I think it came in packs of 3 songs, if I remember rightly. So the add-ons are $6.99 a pack. So you've got Secret Sorcery and Doombound, which Doombound is Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, whereas Secret Sorcery
Lord of the Rings would be
Harry Potter and Hedwig's theme. I only have the Harry Potter one. Thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But there's actually
Pirates of the Caribbean. That'd be really good,
Oh, that is a good shout.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 5 songs on the DLC for $6.99. So not a bad price.
That's good.
Is that both of them having 5 songs? Let's have a quick look. Decline optional cookies because we do not care. There is. I think there's 5 songs in that one as well. So yeah, $6.99 for a pack, not too bad. I don't think. Personally, I think that's a decent price.
And the game's
way worse.
18 quid the game base, is it? Or is it less than that? It's not that expensive, is it?
I'm
really testing you.
Yeah, on Quest it's $19.99, but you can buy it with one of the bundles for $22.99.
That's good.
So again, that's a decent price. So I'm assuming it's going to be in that same price range. Again, not too bad. It's a game that you're going to get quite a good use out of, and I think it's one that a lot of people will play as in the party and have their friends around. And I think that's also pretty cool in itself, because who doesn't want to play a game with their mates, with them all watching them be absolutely idiots with their hands? So
it's a lot easier to have a social screen with PS5 than it is playing the Quest. Of course, you can cast the Quest, but it's a bit easier to have your console connected to the TV and people watching you play.
Yeah. But I will give you the PlayStation prices as well, because there is also a PlayStation Plus discount for anyone that has PlayStation Plus. So you can pre-order it now for $17.99 with PlayStation Plus, and it's also $19.99 without that. So, and like I said, if you pre-order it, you do get the Star Wars pack, which is very cool. And also, you get a lightsaber baton. So, go do it.
That's awesome.
Go do it now. Anyways, moving on, because there's a lot of other stuff to go through. Next one, Get Out, the horror game. Boom! Did it. So Creative VR 3D have made the decision to delay Get Out. I mean, I think we forgot to mention this last week, really. So it's only been delayed till Friday the 30th of May. So literally 3 days after this episode comes out, you'll be able to jump into Get Out. If you don't know what that game is, it's an extension to the story of Very Bad Dreams. So yeah, it's pretty much another horror game with some elements and things like that. From the trailer, there's a scene where you have to like run around with a bag on your head by the looks of it, people in the comments are like Mura, the VR simulator, which I found quite humorous. But yeah, by the looks of it, it's in some sort of form of asylum, I think it is. But looks very creepy, just like the first game was. So should be interesting, and hopefully I will be taking a look at that, and I'll give you all my thoughts on the next episode.
Was the Mura particularly bad? But just bear in mind, when I went to play the original game, I played it after a night out. I was very, very drunk. I did a live stream, which I took down.
I'm going to be honest, Sean.
But I can't remember the Mura being that bad unless my drunk eyes saw through it.
No. People call it Mura Simulator because of the having the bag over your eyes on the game.
Right, okay.
Because in the trailer, you have a bag over your eyes. But obviously, they can't make it so you're completely blind. People are calling it Mura
like a Hessian sack. Yeah,
exactly. So people are calling that. But I mean, in general, from the first game, I personally don't remember the Mura being too bad, but I also can't remember it that much because the last time I played it was a long time ago. I literally got the platinum and I never went back to that hellish nightmare again. And I say hellish nightmare because the game actually really did creep me out in some places. I'm not big with spiders, as people know, and that giant spider scene on one of the chapters where you're on the bed and it's nah. The game's been out long enough. It's on PSVR. I want a PSVR2. It's too late now. Take it.
I'll have to get back and play it myself. It's just not be drunk this time. I might get on better. I think I spent like half an hour trying to. There's a ladder at the start I couldn't get down, and it's like for the life of me, my brain could not figure it out.
It's a game that has a lot of bugs. Sadly, I don't think it landed too well with a lot of people. Fortunately, the time of playing it, I think I got in between the time where they were patching it with some things that kind of fixed one part and broke the previous parts and all that kind of stuff, to the point where I don't know whether they ever got it completely working, but it's usually on sale if you ever want to take a chance in it. But yep, I did complete it. I got the platinum, and I'd say I wouldn't say I overly enjoyed my time with it in terms of the game experience of being a horror game, because I did find it quite creepy at times, especially when certain things would like chasing you and you got to put your hand over your ears and all that kind of stuff. Some cool mechanics, very ambitious for the small team. I will give them that. But anyways, if you did like the first one, like I said, Get Out is coming out on the 30th. Another game that's not coming out now and has been sadly delayed is Zombie Army VR. They put out a post that says, "Dear Dead Hunters, we wanted to share an important update about the release of Zombie Army VR. The game will now launch in all formats Thursday, June 12th. Thursday, June 12th. This additional time will allow us to deliver the best possible experience for you at launch. We apologise for the delay and we appreciate your patience. Rebellion." Let them cook. No issues with that. I mean, would I wish them to delay it maybe a couple of more weeks back? Like, so wasn't all waiting to the week of release going, "Oh, is it going to come? Is it going to come? We're going to get really excited for this," to then hear it. Yeah, I would have liked them to announce it probably maybe at the beginning of May that, sorry, we're actually going to be pushing the release back to June.
Yeah,
because some people might have been like caved and then pre-ordered it at that last minute, ready for it to come, and then now they could have waited a few more weeks. So yeah, it is what it is. But
I've not actually played a Zombie Army, so have you played the series before? Oh yeah, shock moment.
Yes, I've played I played a lot of the first two on PC, and I think I played I think you might have played the fourth one with a couple of mates on PS5. Was it PS4 at the time? I can't remember. Either way, they're good games when you're playing them with friends. They can get quite difficult, but they're overall a really good, enjoyable time to be had.
It was kind of Call of Duty Zombies back in the day. It's like if you're playing on your own, it's just boring as hell. But playing it with friends, it was fun, and then that's what that's the kind of side of this I'm kind of excited for, is that co-op and just having fun with your friends.
I'm looking forward to the co-op. I will say my only downside to this, obviously, being only 2-player co-op instead of the 4-player co-op, which I think is a bit of a I don't know, not a setback in its own sense, because you've got Arizona Sunshine, which is 2-player co-op. You've got a few others that are 2-player co-op, but I think for the franchise itself, from going from a 4-player co-op down to a 2-player co-op, I don't know. I think it's a bit of a setback in that sense, but also finding players to play in VR sometimes, even having 4 people to find to play with, can be a headache. Let's be honest. So yeah. But will you be checking this one out?
Yeah, well, if I get the opportunity, of course, definitely want to check out everything. That's kind of what I do. I am a bit of a VR. Can I say
a VR snob?
Yeah, no, I'm not a snob. You've seen what I play and cover.
We'll be diving into some of the stuff that Hippie's been playing this week. Yeah. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Anyways, the next big thing that is happening in the VR space, I say next big thing, it's more of a big thing that would lead to other big things that you can all be excited about, because, we all need that little bit of excitement in VR. So Upload VR have announced their Summer 2025 showcase. So every June and December, Upload holds a biannual showcase where it premieres the latest VR and MR experiences over the years. Indie creators and larger studios have trusted Upload to debut their exclusive teasers, trailers, and developers' interviews during the online event. So we don't know what's going to be there at this point in time, but it has a little thing on their website where it says what they're looking for, and you can also go there and apply to obviously submit your trailer and your video submissions and all that kind of stuff. So if you are a developer that some reason you listen to us, thank you first off for all the support. But secondly, if you do have a game that's coming out soon, hop over to Upload VR and drop off your video for your new trailer, or even your current game that may have just came out. Maybe you just did a really kick-ass update that you really want to scream about. So yeah, just submit that, and hopefully we will all see you on the showcase.
So, do you watch this, Pickle? July the 11th, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So the final submission for videos though is June the 25th, and the showcase will premiere on July the 11th at 10 a.m. PT on IGN and Upload VR's YouTube channels.
And for us Brits, that should be about 6 p.m.
Yep. So actually, for once, a not too bad time to watch something, because usually I find all these showcase happens when you're just in the middle of your day and you're like, I can't watch that.
Yeah,
I've got things to do, mate. I've got a life.
Or it's middle at night,
Yeah, yeah. What's that one? It's like State of Play, isn't it? And what's the Jeff Keighley show? I always forget what he does. He does something. But,
that's not about 11 o'clock at night for us. Yeah, it's really weird.
Usually find the group chats, like watching them. I'm like, mate, I'm going to bed. I ain't watching
British
that.
people too.
I'll just look at the highlights tomorrow and see if there was actually anything good to be interested about. But yeah, so yeah, that's something we'll be tuning into, and we'll also be doing a video afterwards. Or I say video, and then the following episode from that, we'll kind of go over everything that was announced in the showcase. So if it comes out on July the 11th, you can expect to hear our thoughts on all the stuff that was shown, possibly on Tuesday the 15th of July.
It's a Wednesday, the 11th, yeah? Is that right?
When? No, it's 11th, it's a Friday.
Is it Friday, is it? Huh.
Yeah, it's a Friday, so, maybe do a late recording that day and get our thoughts out for everything that's on there. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Like everything that Upload do. We've got a lot of love for Upload VR. We've had Henry on here before.
Yep.
Yeah. Upload are great.
Lovely bloke. And yeah, I see the work he does on social media, especially on Blue Sky.
Oh, he's just great.
I've come across so many interesting indie devs because of Upload VR's his
starter pack that he did.
Starter packs, yeah, exactly. Yeah, really good.
Awesome. Yeah, Henry is really good. Met him a couple of times at EGX as well. I say EGX. I met him first time when I went to WASD. I remember sitting down chatting with him with Miles. That was a good time. Good time. Lovely dude. Anyways, next up on the news, Cold VR is getting a campaign overhaul with a free Sub-Zero Edition update coming soon. What did you think of this when you heard about this?
Yeah, I'm kind of interested, but I'm one of those. Yeah, I never actually played Super Hot.
Okay, well, that's probably not a bad thing for you because you're not living in the shadow of what Superhot gave you.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that's what kind of made Cold VR fall flat in some places. That a lot of people were playing it going, oh, it's not like Superhot here. It's not like that. It had its flaws. I'm not going to deny that.
Time only moves when you stop on this one, isn't it? So when you're moving, it kind of slows down. And and Super Hot's the other way around. You've got to stop to freeze time. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. So this free update is launching on June the 2nd for Quest and PC VR. And for all of you PlayStation VR people out there, they're still working on it. They're still working on it. But when it does come, it will follow along with this update. So basically, you are going to be getting the better version or the best version or, a version that resembles the game that, the developer wants it to be by the time it comes to PSVR2. So let him cook.
The thing I like about this story is they're also adding the B haptic support. And I think this would actually, for a game like this, slowing time, bullets going past you slowly, I think that could really cool. That would really add to the immersion with the B haptics. I'd love to get my hands on one. Hello, B haptics. But they have actually put out a cheaper model as well, which is only
they've changed the price of it, or the price front of it.
Come down a lot.
Yeah, I might treat myself to a B haptics when I get back to my home. I think that might be my. You've went through hell. Now have a B haptics.
Because you're like a fan of breaches and things, aren't you?
Anything.
And contractors, that's all got support for different shots and things. So yeah.
So
it's not a summer invention though, is it? more gear on in the hot weather.
I think it's definitely. I want it for the winter, but also the other issue is obviously I won't just stop at the vest. I'll buy the tactoses. I'll probably look at the gloves. Wrists, I might even look at the visor that goes onto the Quest to make it so your Quest headset has haptics as well. I might go for the whole haul and just be like, "Yep, I am B haptic man." Who knows? Who knows what I'm going to do? But it's something I've always wanted to try out. It's one of them things where it's because it's a big ask. I've always wanted to kind of like try before you buy with B haptic. So I'm hopefully one day I'll get to give it a try before actually picking it up. But we'll see. I might just take the plunge like I did with VR, and now look where I am. But anyways, Ramirez advised basically that he wants the PSVR2 version to release with the new content update that without giving away too much. It's supposed to take cold into an even colder territory. So keep an eye out for that one, and hopefully the new update really resonates with players, and hopefully the people that tried it and weren't too much of a big fan jump back in and give it another go. I didn't really dislike it that much. I had fun with it. There was definitely things that could be better, and hopefully this update will certainly do those. The PC VR version did, kind of stand up out on top on here to the point where the Quest version, I played it for like 20 minutes and never went back to. So there's also that. But anyways, following on from that, we've got another game coming out on Quest next month. And I wanted to talk about this one because I don't just want it on Quest. I want this game on everything. And I think people are going to know, before I even say the name of it, people are going to know what game it is. Because I remember when I first saw this game, I commented and I was like, it looks like Wipeout. Like, you guys fans of Wipeout? And then from that, more people saw, I'm not saying I spotted it, and other people have spotted this game and said the same thing, and it's got to the point where it's been mentioned so much. Other podcasts have mentioned it. I believe it's been mentioned on a Gamecast as well and things like that. There's loads of people that have mentioned this game, and that game is V-Racer Hoverbike. Now, it's in early access at the moment on Steam, but it's coming to Quest on June the 12th, and it looks fantastic.
It looks impressive.
Yeah, from a Quest standpoint, it looks really good. But I've also been watching some of the PC VR gameplay, and damn, it just makes me go, I want this on everything. Like, I don't want people to, there's like certain games that you see, like, everyone needs to play this. No one should be limited from playing this. Everyone needs to play it. Like, and this is one of them games where I feel like, I'm not the biggest motorbike person. I'm not the biggest racer type person when it comes to VR games, but yeah, for me, this is something I'm definitely intrigued in playing.
I would be extremely surprised if this does not come to PSVR2 because it's published by Impact Inc., which is obviously Impact Reality, and these guys are fantastic. So they're going to want it out on every platform. But of course, when it's early access and they're developing things, you understand Sony's dropped the ball by never taking up an early access program. Sony needs to get on the ball with this, really. But I really do believe it's going to be on the PlayStation VR2 at some point.
I'm just looking through all the details on it. Yeah.
So pre-orders are live for the game, and if you get a 10% discount, and there's an exclusive solar flare character skin for the early adopters. Ooh. And I tell you what, that thing looks spanking. It's like it's really nice.
Gold. It's got wings on it. It's got the wings on the chest. Oh,
well, it looks fabulous.
Pre-order that right now. 2 seconds, guys. Let's put the podcast on hold.
I like the aspect because the promo
is leaning thing as well. Yeah,
you're leaning, so it should reduce motion sickness because racing games can be bad for sickness. But because you're actually doing that action, it should alleviate that problem. So, I watched the trailer today again, and I'm excited for it. Yeah. 7 game modes. 7 different game modes. You've got a lot of content here.
Solo, competitive, or chaotic. Choose from time trial, weekly challenge, combat, survivor, neon runner, multiplayer, and career. Multiplayer race with up to 6 players in cross-platform online multiplayer. Bosh. We always like to hear that. Cross-platform needs to be in every multiplayer game, okay?
Yep.
30 tracks across the galaxy. Combat racing, use missile drones. Using missiles, drones, EMPs, and more in fast-paced battles where every second counts. Yep, and you've even got a mixed reality showroom as well, photo and replay tools. Yeah, give it to me. That is exactly what we need. It looks amazing. It's something I've been really intrigued about. And if you are a PC player and you want that extra bit of quality in graphics and fidelity, then it's actually cheaper on PC. But yeah, they still state it's early access on PC, but it's £15.49 on there, so you get a bit of a cheaper purchase.
And this is because I've only got the price in dollars for the Quest, which is $30. It's launched at $29.99.
It's $20.99 on Quest, I believe it is. 2 seconds. Yeah, £20.99 on Quest.
Yeah,
but that may be because it's by the looks of it, it's self-published on PC, so that's might be why it's a little bit cheaper there. Who knows?
Yeah.
I do not have the curriculum or the understanding to go further into that, so we'll leave it at that. But definitely one to look at. Even just jump on Steam or watch one of the trailers, or jump on the Quest. If you're playing on Quest, obviously watch the trailer there. But if you are a PC VR player, have a look at the PC VR footage, like the images, just the lighting on the bikes. Like, yeah, absolutely delicious.
Yep.
Anyways, let's carry on through because we want to jump in and talk about the games we've been playing this week. We've got a few that I kind of want to talk off and things like that. But lastly, on the news, and this is, you don't know about this one. So this, I've waited to kind of give you a little bit of a, and yeah.
Well, I saw the show notes and I'm like, oh yeah, I know Reece.
Yeah. So our good friends at Incisive, we have mentioned them countless times. They have been big supporters of the show in many ways. They've announced their new game, which is Clean Sheet Pro. So if anyone knows Clean Sheet, the goalkeeping game in VR, well, this is Clean Sheet Pro. It's a new game. So let's go over some of the actual notes of it. So it transforms VR sports training into a live data-driven performance ecosystem combining science-backed drills, real-time competitions, and progression-based career mode designed to improve real-world ability. So the way this one kind of works, instead of you just standing in front of the goal, you've got all that other stuff to do as well. You know, you kind of go through all these different careers. You've got these rooms to view. It's basically what you would have wanted from Clean Sheet to be in terms of like a full game rather than, I suppose, a tech demo in its sense. So yeah, obviously when Clean Sheet was made, or a lot of Incisive stuff, they've always been made with sports people in mind, you know, professionals and things like that, because they have been known to use them for actual training, which I think is really cool in its own sense. So yeah, but here's the caveat of this one, and some people may not like it, but some people will if they do like these type of games that can kind of monitor their data and they can carry on with. Clean Sheet Pro is a subscription-based VR goalkeeping simulator. So it's not there will be trials by the sounds of it and things like that just to get you in to see what you like. But yes, it is subscription-based. But also, by the looks of it, coach companion app. Oh, interesting. Gameplay mechanics, hand tracking support. Oh, lovely. Like the sound of that, actually, because I don't remember Clean Sheet on the Quest having hand tracking. So that's nice. I also saw that there's real match scenarios and there's also custom scenarios that you can build and make out yourself, which I also think is really cool. Yes. And they've put Clean Sheet Pro is more than a sequel. It's a new standard for what VR sports can achieve, with a focus on meaningful progression, personalized development, and authentic competition. Incisive, I don't know why I'm holding my hand there. Incisive is redefining the relationship between gameplay and athletic growth. Thank you, Incisive. Yes, so that will be coming. I believe it is, I'm going to say Q4. Yes, Q4 of 25. So
what formats?
It's only coming to, it's only coming to Quest 3 and Quest 3S. I believe that's all that's mentioned in here. There may be other platforms, but for the sake of what's in this actual document that I have that is going to be going out and things like that, or it's went out to people now, I'm going to go off what's on that and not what I might speculate myself. Even though I have
I like seeing new announcements and not supporting Quest 2 because they're going to try to get everybody wants to get the best out of the games.
Yeah.
And I think concentrating on the latest hardware is the best thing to do. And I know there's a big user base out there, but most of them are playing Gorilla Tag. So devs, most of the Quest 2 players are playing the free stuff. And concentrate on Quest 3.
And even though I did word it in like it's subscription based, is that really a bad thing when you word it? Like, I mean, yes, I'm not a big fan of subscription based. I like to buy once and play it whenever I want. But with a platform where people are releasing games all the time and no one's buying them anyway, why not take the jab at trying this and seeing if it works?
Yep.
Because sadly, it's such a cutthroat market at the moment. It really is. And I think that might actually be a topic on one week's episode because there's certainly a theme I've been seeing on the VR stores lately. And I'm sure you've all spotted it too. It's not gorillas at the moment either. It's another animal.
All right.
Yeah. So anyways, Clean Sheet Pro. Yep, Q4. I'm going to be jumping into it. I loved Clean Sheet. I don't know why. There was just something about it that clicked with me. It's something I played quite a lot. And it's something I'm looking to play more of. So, I'm definitely going to jump in and try that, even if it does mean paying for a subscription.
My take on Clean Sheet is don't go into it looking for a game about being a footballer. Go into it, and it's the words you've said to me. It's meant as a training device. It's meant as a fitness device. And if you look at it like that, then I think you're going to, that if you go into it knowing what to expect, you're going to get a lot out of it. So with that kind of commitment they've done, I really hope they do well with it.
Yeah, I hope it works for them. Because obviously we know they released Clean Sheet and then they brought it over to PlayStation VR2. They released Dodgecraft and then they ported that over to PSVR2. And obviously now they've got this. But I mean, there's no mention.
Clean Sheet's always in that upper half of the listing as well. If you're looking, I noticed
Dodgecraft had some. It was quite high up at one point, not like incredibly high, but it had some good sales by the looks of it.
There's some games I love what are near the bottom of the listing of
it
popularity.
Makes no sense.
Windlands 2. What you're doing? It's
yes, Sony. What are you doing?
Yeah,
pick
Sony,
that thing up.
Right up there.
Come on.
But I always see Clean Sheet pretty high on the list, so people are buying it, and hopefully, and it's doing well. And
I hope it does well for them, and I hope maybe this approach to a subscription service is something that they can kind of monitor. I don't know. I mean, again, it's like I said. I think it's especially on Quest these days. We see games release all the time, and you hear about it once, and then never again. And that's pretty much what it feels like with Quest Store at the moment. It's like I go, oh, what's that game? Oh, never mind, I can't remember. And then it's like it's literally that until somebody goes, oh, that was it. And it's all word of mouth on the Quest Store. None of it is you found it yourself. It's all somebody saying online on Twitter like, oh, I just played this and it's fantastic. And you go, okay, I'm going to go check it out.
It's so hard to find things on the Quest, though, unless when you're searching, it just the slightest. It doesn't even predict, or it's like it's the Sony store is terrible, but at least it's easy to find things.
It doesn't like you type in clean sheets and it doesn't go, did you mean clean sheet? It'll just be like, there's no game called that. It's like, oh, damn. What did I do wrong? You put an S, but Quest isn't going to help you go find it. But however, there is these 20,000 horizons that you can jump into to try. Anyways, enough of that. Let's jump into what we've been playing this week. Because yes, we've been playing quite a bit. I will save you all from my Ghost of the Boar adventures this week. All I will say is I'm still playing it. I'm still enjoying it. I've now found a group that I'm jumping in and playing it with quite a bit. And yeah, I'm loving it.
Can I add my 2 cents worth? But I tried it out on the Quest the other night. I spent an hour trying to get my friend into the game. Couldn't get him to join a game. Went into a zone, quit, lost all my stuff. I hated it.
That's because you didn't get to play it with somebody. That's usually the response of Ghost of the Boar when you don't join with somebody. You kind of go in not understanding what you're doing. It does have that effect. But yeah. Anyways, last week we said about Iron Guard coming, and I hadn't tried it at that point. Didn't get the time to try it prior to the episode, but I have tried it now, and I love it. As somebody who's a big fan of tower defense games, this ticks all the boxes for me. I mean, it kind of goes in there with the other tower defense that we have on PlayStation VR2, but we don't really have we don't have a lot of them. Toonheads being something that just I think it's just me that loves that game. It seems other people play it. It's good.
I love it.
Other people play it and they're like, I like it, but not
I
like
the cheesy humor.
Oh, okay, good. It ticks every box for you. Then Captain Toonhead is right up there. But anyways, Iron Guard offers that kind of more retro style tower defense game that I liked, and it kind of, even though it's in VR, it's kind of one of them things where you can go, this could work outside of VR, which is quite funny because you can get it outside of VR on Steam and play it in non-VR if you really want to, and it's free on there if you do want to do that. So it's it's one of them things where it's like, I could see this working outside of Steam, outside of VR kind of thing. And I feel like you playing it in VR, that it doesn't majorly add any benefit to the game. I didn't feel like I was losing my mind or being like, oh, this is so awesome because it's in VR. I did feel like I was more trapped in the world, and I like that side of it. That's one thing I've always loved about VR. It's just like, you're not going to check your phone or anything like that. But for a tower defense game, it ticks all the boxes. It has all the right things for a tower defense game. And that's just, and then you mentioned it as well, and I'm going to mention it now because I know you're just going to go, oh, yeah. And he's going to talk about it for a bit. So we're going to let him ramble on about this one because we're going to hear some of that lovely northern Pickle accent. Go on, tell us about the music, Pickle.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I've only played the first couple of levels, but that metal, as soon as the wave started and that metal riff kicked in, I'm like, oh yeah, come on! I was recording a video, and in my video, I'm actually, I'm moshing in the video. So it feels good and a great soundtrack, but visually, probably not the sharpest thing on the headset, it's good quality. It's good quality. It looks nice. A little bit softer edges on things, but no issues. Virtually no murmur. I don't see any murmur on there at all. Sound design's nice. And it feels like an old Command and Conquer game, but it's tower defense. It's got that kind of vibe to it.
That aesthetic, doesn't it? Actually, yeah. I wasn't expecting like a full blown story as well. Like I didn't expect that because
the voice acting's nice as well, isn't it? Yeah. It's pretty good. Yeah,
I thought it was pretty decent. Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm definitely gonna be sinking a lot more time into this one, and I'm sure you'll be hearing more of my thoughts on it because it's one of them games where I find with tower defense games you play maybe 1 or 2 levels back to back, or maybe a few more, and then you go, I'll come back round to this, and you spin back round to it. Because the problem with tower defense games is, although they are fun, they are quite repetitive because it is literally place a tower, cool, I'll shoot at these things, wait for it all to play out. And that's not me saying I don't like tower defense games, because they're actually probably up there as one of my favourite genres, because the days when I'm not doing anything else and I can just throw time away, I find they're such a good time sink. And yeah, I mean,
It's a relaxing type of genre, though. You could just
exactly.
If you play seated and you don't want to be stood up and waving your arms about, you could just sit back in your chair and just really look around, and it gets busy. Even in the opening level, there's 4 entrances.
Exactly.
It's like you don't know which is coming next. And it's kind of like, well, I've put my towers here now. I know they're coming that way. I'm like, oh, I'm screwed.
I find it quite funny because it didn't tell you. I couldn't see how many waves it was. I was looking at my indicator on my wrist. And I was like, how many waves have I got? And then all of a sudden I start the next wave and I'm like, oh, they're coming from every single angle right now. I didn't expect that on the first level. It's like...
and there's 30 different scenarios, locations as well.
Yeah, there's loads of levels. And there's upgrades as well.
I've been hearing like 18 to 20 hours minimum to get through it. And you're going to be replaying a lot of them because you made mistakes.
Star ratings, yep. And there's upgrades as well, so you get different you can upgrade the towers with the actual, like when I say upgrades, it's upgrades inside the levels, and then there's also like an upgrade skill tree that you can do as well, which is really cool. I love games like that, just simply because again it makes you sink more time into it. You get more bang for your buck. So,
and you've got what you expect, you've got your kind of turrets, and you've got your ones what slow enemies and things like that. So yeah, it does all the right things. And it came out of nowhere and I think it took a lot of people by surprise. A lot of reviewers and content creators I've seen and talked to just kind of like they went into it expecting trash, and they've actually come away with it thinking, no, this is actually really good and worth your money.
Yeah,
if you like the genre,
I love to see that. I do love to see that because you get that so many times that you take one look at a thing and you go, okay,
it's going to be rubbish. Yeah,
what's this going to be? What's this going to be? And you jump into it, you're like, actually,
oh yeah,
okay. I see where you're going with this, and then it kind of just ticks you out. And yeah, it's one of them games where it's like you're going to want to sink a lot of hours into this before you throw out a review, just simply because I think you would get addicted to it. So yeah, that's Iron Guard. From first impressions, it definitely gets the seal of approval, just on the basis of that. But yeah, I will give you more thoughts the more I play it, because I'm definitely going to be jumping back into it. Another game that's come out this week is this week, yes. Well, not this week that you listen to it, but the week when I'm recording this. This is on Quest. Quantum Threshold. I'm going to let you go first, Pickle. Only because... I'm going to you, Pickle. I'm going to let you go first, Pickle. Yeah, it sounds like I'm calling you like a pet name when I say it. Yeah, Hippie sounds better. I'm going to let you go first, mate. Yeah, I think for your words alone... Go on.
From the off, what is Quantum Threshold? It is a roguelike. People, I like roguelikes. I like a good roguelike. I like progression systems. I like it to kick my ass and feel like I'm getting somewhere. And the premise of this one is it's futuristic, cyberpunkish, and you're a user in a wheelchair. And just that alone kind of piqued my interest.
Sounds pretty cool in VR.
Yeah, and because I'm all about accessibility, inclusion, and you don't get, people with disabilities represented enough in video games.
Nope.
So I kind of like the idea. And then straight away in the game itself, it's got kind of the options for smooth turning, snap turning, all kind of good. You could use either hand, you've got holsters. It's even got a one-handed mode, which is actually really, really good to see, because I know there's some VR gamers out there what don't have the ability to play a lot of games because there's not a one-handed mode. Yeah, so
something Jorg said from who made C Smash.
Yep,
he remembers.
There's one of the guys on Jammy Heroes Discord. He's always looking for games because he's only got really a great use of one hand. Always looking for games with options like that. So always great to see. It's just visually and performance wise, it's disappointing. And I've seen some review. I was looking up some reviews, and people have been saying it's Quest 2, but on the store it's only marked as 3 and 3S. If it was Quest 2 as well, yeah. But when I looked it up earlier, I'm pretty sure it only said 3 and 3S.
Let's have a look. You keep ramming on. Go talk through your first experience in the level, then.
Well, just even in the opening tutorial, it's got frame stutters. There's a lot of anti-aliasing around, and it's kind of the frame stutters, and the graphical aesthetic of the game shouldn't be too taxing for the Quest. So, and I've seen some visually beautiful games on the Quest, and it just feels like it just needs a lot of optimization. And I've tried a couple of runs, and it is brutally hard. navigating a wheelchair with is not easy.
No, it's that side of it is actually. I mean, the concept is really cool. I'll give them that.
And it's like, well, kind of every zone, the first zone you go into, there's a dropship type.
Dropship shooting at you.
There's a dropship, and as soon as you go out in the open, you're buggered. But you can't turn.
You're like this. It's
you can't turn, and it's like you want to strafe. You can't strafe in a wheelchair.
It's.
And you've got to be quick, and it takes a lot. I just feel like I've tried a couple of runs, and I got a little bit further each time, but not very far. I didn't seem to be earning a lot of money, so I just feel like it's kicking me ass a little bit too much too early. I feel like something like the dropship should be a bit further on. It should let you at least get through the opening couple of areas.
I'd appreciate the dropship wasn't even there. So
just earn a bit more cash, kick me ass with some bigger enemy, then put me back. I'll get a bit more powered up, because you can upgrade your wheelchair with speed, boosts, more health regeneration, and then you've got your weapon unlocks as well to do.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah, just talking about the weapons though, I opened a bit of money. I'm like, pistol laser sight attachment. Oh, I'll buy that, but it doesn't go on the pistol you get at your start.
So you did that too? I did it with the extended magazine. It turns out that pistol extended magazine is not for my pistol.
I had to buy the next one down, the Glock 9, the next weapon. And then suddenly the laser sight worked, and I'm like, well, that was a waste of money, wasn't it?
So but, I mean,
it just needs. I like the idea, and I do want to play more, but right now it's $18.99.
Yeah, it's a big asking price.
That's a big asking price for a game what's got needs a lot of optimization. Because visually it's got issues. Popping is bad. Just in the opening lobby, you've got like desks and stuff. There's a helmet on the desk, and just moving slightly towards it from it changes shape completely. These girders what totally twist randomly or didn't miss a line, and I'm the guy what notices those kind of details. And it's kind of like the quest is better than this. The quest is much better than this. It needs some optimization, guys. And then I'd happily check out more, but. And the stuttering, it's jarring in VR.
Let me chime in with my thoughts then, because I actually thought you was going to be the nice one, but damn.
Well, no, I love the concept and things, but it just needs some stuff.
All right, concept's fantastic. I love the idea of you being going around in this cybernetic wheelchair. I think it's quite a cool idea, because further down the line, you can actually get like extra arms on the wheelchair that will also hold guns. So then you're shooting free guns and things like that. Very, very cool concept in every sense of the word. I'm going to be honest with you. When I heard a VR game where you're going to be shooting while in a wheelchair, I initially took a little look at the game, and I was a bit disappointed in the terms that I was kind of hoping it would be like actually
mounted guns.
No, using like the wheelchair wheel, like actually going like that, and then like having to kind of use the thing and then like lean and things like that. I was like, okay, this could be a really cool idea. And then I watched the video, because in my mind that is what I visualized. I was like, okay, it's going to be like this. You can really go fast on it, and then it kind of moves itself, and then you grab your guns and kind of go. Think of like maybe like pistol whip, but a wheelchair version.
Yeah, fluid.
That type of thing, because it will give you that kind of fast momentum with this shooting gameplay, and that was what played out in my mind. So I was like, okay, I need to take a look at this. That is not what I got. That is not what I got. I was expecting this fast-paced shooter, and then when I read more into it, I heard it was a roguelite, and I was like, okay, well, roguelites can still be fast-paced, so it's not all is lost just yet. And then I played the game, and how slow the wheelchair is. And yes, there is a boost button, but the majority of the time, it's like, going...
in a tank. It's like you're in a tank.
You go forward, and you'll have to kind of rotate it around a little bit, and it'll do that and all that kind of stuff. Now, again, one reason I do think they've done a really accurate representation of this, and I mean, I can't speak from real life experience, but I do feel in the terms of that first experience of having to adjust yourself to the mindset of you're having to move this wheelchair around that you've never moved around. I will say that for this game, that is about the 50% of its difficulty, because I'm sure a lot of people that are trying this may have never used a wheelchair or anything like that in their life, and it's just generally that I found that quite difficult in my sense. I was like, going forward, and I was like, okay, now I want to kind of quickly spin around. It's like you said, you can't just quickly spin around. It kind of, it goes around slightly and all that kind of stuff, and you can adjust it to speed turning and things like that. But for me, it was just I found that quite a bit of a hurdle in its own sense for me to kind of, I don't know, I think it just messes my brain a little bit, like the way kind of, because I'm so used to playing these VR games where I'll just dart around in circles and do 360s and stuff, and seeing I couldn't do that.
I've seen modern wheelchairs, electric wheelchairs, and they can spin really fast.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, you can... Yeah, you can turn them really fast. And,
so you're telling me this cybernetic wheelchair from possibly from 2300 is a bit out of date. It's a bit shit. Okay, cool. But no, the concept is absolutely fantastic, and I do think, like you said, Hippie, having this kind of representation and things like that, I think is also very cool. I mean, the last game I saw where you're in a wheelchair in VR was that one you played recently where you guide the girl around. Forgot the name of it.
Lost Labyrinth.
Yeah, you're in a wheelchair and that. And I found that quite surreal, like looking down and just seeing that I'm in a wheelchair. I thought that was quite a bit of a surreal thing.
But again, the wheelchair's empty. You've got no body.
And that's what I was getting to. With this, you look down, you're like, oh, I'm just a floating fucking head in an empty wheelchair where my head's actually quite back a little bit, so it doesn't even look like I'm in line with a body. So, but I'll try and not be too critical. But let's move on.
It's just as well because you've got your floating hands, but then you've got the robotic arms.
Yeah, and that's what can add some more weapons and things like that as well, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, but when you move your arm, they're moving as well, and it's because you've got no real arm, it feels disconnected.
Yes,
it's not like you've got a full arm and that's an extra arm.
And it doesn't
mirroring your movements.
And it doesn't add any weight, does it? Like, like we've think of like I'm going to say weight can be added and done really well in VR because it was done with Underdogs on Quest as well. You don't need haptics if you that too, but the weight of you lifting your mech arms as well in Underdogs. Like if you're lifting your hand like the weight of that should be something quite representation. But again,
Underdogs, you're in the cockpit, you can see your full arms holding the controls, and that mirrors what the mech's doing. That feels connected.
The mech arms look like they're automatic in a sense. Wherever you shoot, they just kind of shoot on, don't they? It's, yeah. But anyways, let me go over just the game itself. The concept I think is really cool. Yeah, it runs a bit like bit shit. It does. Yeah.
Needs some optimization.
It does look like a Quest 2 game, but it does state it's Quest 3 and Quest 3S, so definitely more optimization. Frame rates, man, I can not talk tonight. Frame rates need a little bit of a kick in the arse to kind of go up. It does state it's version 0.75, so we could argue that this is the early access release because it's not 1.0 by the state of the version. I will definitely jump back in and try it again. I have not been steered away to the point where I don't want to try more of it. It's just more of what I've played at the moment makes me go, there's nothing really here that's making me go, I want to jump back into that straight away. I've played many other roguelites where I'm like, I want another itch at that run. This is not making me go like that.
Enemies spawning behind you.
Yeah, they're all over the gaff. You don't know where they're coming from.
And the sound design it's not quite 3D audio. It's around, but you can't quite work out if it's behind you or not. And
yeah. So I think for the time being, I'd say probably hold off picking it up unless you see it on a good sale and you are very intrigued about playing a game in, where you're in a wheelchair setting. I think it's, again, like I said, it is a very cool, not very cool, but, it's a very unique experience in that sense. I think the way they made it, and a shooter being in that type of setting as well, I think it's a very unique experience.
I was actually wondering if the one-handed mode lets you move the wheelchair with the analog stick when you're shooting.
I believe it does.
Yeah, because I was the amount of times I was playing though, and I'm like, I've got my gun out in this hand, and without holding the controller, I just wanted to use the analog stick to move the chair instead of actually grabbing the thing and moving it,
But I will say what somebody else has put in a review, and I think this is probably one thing that could work best for them. Somebody actually commented saying about head turning and making it work with the Roto VR.
That would be a good idea.
And they did respond back and say they'll look into it. So hopefully that's something they do look into, because again, this is another game that I think would work really well with the Roto VR. So hopefully they do jump onto that and do that. But anyways, we're getting a bit close for time, so let's sprint through the next few things. Let's jump into the other big release on Quest 3, which is Into the Radius 2. We've been playing this. We didn't get time to play it together because life finds a way to get in the way. I won't dive in too much about it, just simply because my impressions of it are, I've played it on PC. I've, you know, nearly got to the same bit where I am on PC on Quest in a sense. There are some optimization issues which I think will get ironed out, but again, this is early access release. This is not a full release on Quest. It looks fine. I think they're pushing quite a lot from the Quest in a sense. I think maybe the resolution could be a little bit clearer in places, but I think coming from a game that is very high demanding anyway, because I remember playing this with one of my friends and he has quite a good PC and he was like, it's just not loading properly for me. I'm getting stutters and things like that. And there's me just walking around like, da 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 da. I just bought a new vest, mate. And it was quite funny. But yeah, one of my buddies just couldn't get it to work on his PC. So it can be quite a demanding game. So to see a game like this come to the Quest and even run, even with the frame rates and things like that, I'm hoping it's something they can optimize a little bit better over the course of time. But I would say still jump in and pick up this game. Into the Radius is just fantastic. It's one of them franchises and one of them series on VR that I think everyone needs to play, and Into the Radius 2 with featuring multiplayer and this ever-growing kind of world. I think it's something you really need to jump into. So, yeah, I love Into the Radius. It's
and it just makes me excited. Now I've played it on the standalone on the Quest. It makes me excited for the full release, and it comes to PSVR2 because the Into the Radius on PSVR2 just it's phenomenal. The game's fantastic. There's not many. I've got virtually no criticisms for that, how that game runs and performs on the PSVR 2. It's got every feature I want, and I just think with the 4V8 rendering alone is kind of what helps this game run so well, because it's and if you're Into the Radius, you're going to love this.
Yeah,
regardless of the frame rates, I'm going to play more of this on the Quest.
Yeah,
regardless.
So, I mean, at this point in time, my main point of playing VR is pretty much PSVR2 and Quest, just because I forgot my wire to play PC VR, so I need to buy a new one because that was left at my house, which has now been taken into storage and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I need to buy a new wire. So, darn me and me forgetting things while frantically running through a house of stuff that we need to take. But playing this on Quest, I don't feel disappointed in playing it. I've not been playing it and going, or anything like that. I've been literally going, okay, cool, I've done that. That's the next area. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's one of those games where I'm just happy with it. And yeah, just like you, I can't wait till they finish this. I can't wait till they get to the point where they're so happy with it. And then they go, cool, we're doing a PSVR2 release because this, and then think crossplay as well, if they do crossplay between PSVR2 and other things. But even then, just playing Into the Radius 2, and I have played it now with two different people in VR on Into the Radius 2. It is a lot of fun. Like, it's just, I don't know, there's something eerily beautiful about Into the Radius, and yeah, that's it. Go pick it up. It's great. Support these devs. They're hardworking. Their passion between their VR games, and I mean, let's be honest, the amount of interaction as well for Into the Radius, just in general, like OCD simulator.
This is the thing. It's like we talk about Quantum Threshold, and I the frame rate issues kind of put me off, kind of getting into enjoying it. But because it's Into the Radius, might have a few frame rate issues, but the game is so good, you don't care. So it's weird how you can forgive some things. Yeah, you can forgive some things and not others. But it's because the game is already bloody. It's gripped me. It's like I want to learn. I want to play more. The new bass, I like the new bass. Yeah. It's just such a good layout.
It's cool. I remember when I played it on PC, and me and Sam were literally just a game on Scorpio. Me and him were just playing chess, or not chess. It was checkers.
There's checkers in the background, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah. So he was playing checkers instead of actually going out and doing the missions. We're just sitting there going to play checkers with each other. It was just hilarious. It was just a good bit of laugh, It was
in that exact area. There's a big sign saying no smoking. So I did the entire Yorkshire thing. I'm going to stand here and have a cigarette right next to this board. Yeah.
Also, could we just in terms of smoking in a VR game? For some reason, that one just feels incredibly realistic. Like the way. It literally does the whole, and it just almost kind of goes with you when you would just take a breath. It just seems to work really well. Great job there. But no, in all seriousness, Into the Radius 2, fantastic.
Absolutely.
Right, let's move on because I'm a bit conscious of time. I don't mind if we go a little bit over. Laurie would not be happy, but oh, Reece, you did your first week of hosting and you went over an hour. I'm sorry, Laurie. But here we go. Laurie, not your Laurie.
Red Laurie, yellow Laurie. I can't even say it.
Mate, I'm losing it. Maybe that's why you didn't go over an hour. You kind of malfunction. Once you hit 59, it's anyways. Yeah. So, Hippie, can you tell us about some of the games you've been playing as well? I know one of them I've also been playing, and I've played another one of them as well. But tell us about Fast Hands first, in very quick, swift, fast details.
Fast Hands is a parkour type simulation from X82 Limited. Straight away, that just rings alarm bells of some kind of shovelware.
X82 Limited.
Yeah, but a lot of it kind of seems like it's got some AI in there, but it's the opening bit. It says, "Put your hands in front of you," and like you're a T-Rex, and I love the way it says, "Put your hands like a T-Rex," and then you run by doing this.
But why can't you do it that way?
I think you can move your hands bigger, but you don't have to, which is actually kind of good because you can actually go quite fast just doing that than actually running.
Yeah, I suppose there is that. Yeah.
But then you raise your hands to jump. You put your hands out to dive and glide.
Okay, that's pretty cool, I suppose.
It's got a lot of kind of platforms and holes to dive through and different skills to learn. And yeah, there's some AI voice acting as far as I'm aware. It's like the opening voice sounded really good. But then the second voice, I thought, well, that's got to be AI. And then I went back and heard the first one. I'm like, kind of does sound like AI. And it seems like some of the levels might be kind of prompted. But it actually feels pretty good to play. When you get into the motion, I kind of enjoyed it. And it turns out the guys are from Sheffield as well. So
guys from Sheffield, eh?
Yeah.
Talk about voice acting. I'm gonna jump on from that.
Segue.
It's a segue of segues right there, and I think with Fast Hands, I don't know, there's something a bit more. I want you to dive in a little bit more into detail. I want you to talk about your experience with Hit. But first off, if people don't know what Hit is a game on Quest where you slap the living shit out of clay models. Then you can bake them, you can sell them, you can get more stuff to carry on destroying these clay models. Well, Hippie Pickle, I say Hippie Pickle, even though he's not part of CrossButton in that sense, he's been here a couple of times now. The dude's great. He's actually in the game. He is in the game. And I tell you what, from a perspective of like seeing somebody I've met and somebody I talk to quite a bit and have a good laugh with, just being in a VR game, I don't know, it filled me with much joy, mate. I was incredibly proud to see that. And there was other VR creators in there as well. You got like Cadet Grumpy Duck, you've got Atom Bomb Body in there, you got Machete Coletti, I believe. I may have pronounced it wrong. I do apologize if so. But there's something in there that I recognise. And then in the top right corner, you've got the Hippie Pickle.
Yeah. I seem to be in a bit of a pickle. That's my opening line.
That's his opening line as soon as you click on it. But talk us through how that whole process went. And
although they had to cut the beard off because it wouldn't work. They had to trim it because it wouldn't work on the models.
I will say, like, the one thing I noticed, because I did pick it up, I didn't own the game before. I went out of my way to slap Pickle in the face. Sorry, mate. I did notice that it seemed like the image was more rendered off of your avatar than your actual face.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's based on my avatar.
Yeah, because I was looking at it, I was like, sure, his nose was bigger than this in real life. Like, he's got a really small avatar. Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but like, I was like,
it like I've been hit.
But no, it was, I don't know, there was just something really magical about seeing someone who's very passionate about VR, very excited about the medium, and just to be in a game. So incredibly proud of you, mate. There, but yeah. Oh, I want to hear.
No, I've been. Process. These guys are super hyper mega. They're a small indie studio. Not sure where they're based actually. But again, I came across these guys from Henry Stockdale on Blue Sky Starter Pack. The lead dev was on there. He popped up in my feed saying they're launching the second game. We're doing a beta test. Would you like to be on it? And that was for a game called Project Arrows, which is, guiding airships to a base kind of thing in mixed reality. Kind of enjoyed that. And then, so I grabbed that. I've done a bit of coverage for that as well. Then the third game came out, which is a game called Wet, just kind of a little bit of a puzzle game, directing water and recreating terrain, also in mixed reality as well. So I did some coverage of that. And then Hit came out, and when for the first 100 people, I think it was like 99 pence. So I picked it up and did a video.
Missed that one.
Yeah. And Alex picked it up. I know Alex picked it up.
I did, yeah.
But it was very, very bare bones. It was basically just smack the heads, and that was it. There was nothing else to it. Since I first did my video and talking to the guys gave some feedback, and they were talking about putting heads in there. And then, the conversation came up about, I'd love to be in the game. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I just think it'd be hysterical, to be in a video game. So, sent them a picture, did some lines for them. And then this was the other month. And then they were waiting till they hit, because they've got a goal to hit 1,000 reviews on Quest Store. Once they hit 1,000 reviews, that's when they put out all the new heads. So if you do like the game, you do like Smacking Me, if you get to 10,000 reviews, they're actually going to put in an option to upload your own heads. So
I said talk about your experience of getting in the game. I didn't say sell their product for them. But
no, but
because now I'm going to try and give my thoughts on the game and make people.
but since the opening, they've put a lot of work in there. The years, like you said, you can now bake the heads, and there's a car to smash up. There's more weapons, because before there was never any point other than just sandboxing a head. But now it gives you an image, like make the head look like this. So you've got to try to do it as close as you can to earn money to unlock the weapons. So it's a lot more of a game now, and they've lowered the price. But
nah,
it's not for everybody. I know, I understand it's not for everybody, but I love these guys, for including me. And against these other creators, it feels great because some of these guys are a lot more successful than I am. So it just feels great to be alongside them. So I just appreciate that. There we go.
So,
go right now. Smack me in the face. If you're tired of listening to me, go and smack me instead.
Now let me give you my thoughts on the game. Now, I bought it for $2.99. I literally, I only picked it up just to
smack me.
I suppose it was that side of it, but also just to take a quick look and see that. And I was like, I don't know, I was just happy to see one of my buddies in the game, basically. So I dived into it. I can see why people enjoy this game as a good laugh and things like that. But for me, it's certainly not a game for me. But at the same point, I can see that there is quite a bit of work that's went into the game. So I do kind of respect what the developers have done and added all this kind of stuff and watched it. I say I haven't watched it grow, but obviously seeing where you said it's come from to where it is now, you can see a lot of work has went into it in that sense of them completely adding things to this game. And yeah, it's really cool in the sense of it's like I said, it's not my type of game. It's not something I'd be jumping into and playing every now and then. But I suppose if there's one night when I come home from work and I'm just a bit like, maybe I'll fucking come here, Pickle. So who knows? Maybe that will happen one night, but we don't know.
I feel like it's kind of one for the content creators anyway to make funny clips and what you can do.
It's a TikTok.
It's like that. It's like that I Am Cat kind of thing. So yeah,
it just didn't take off as much as I Am Cat. But then again, if in doubt, cat out is what I keep saying to people at the moment. They
did put a cat in there. It's got a counter on how many times the cat's been smacked, and it was like on about 900,000, and like I added a couple to that, but I felt bad.
So no, certainly not one for me, but I do respect what they've done. So good work on them, and keep up, I suppose. Yep. Let's go on to the last game quickly. Let's start wrapping this up because
we're nearly 10 minutes over.
I'm 10 minutes over. Laurie's going to be telling me off. I want to get another drink as well. Merlin chess. Let's quickly talk about that. I'm just going to give you my first.
Teleporter Realities, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. I can't remember the developer's name, but Merlin chess. Just search it. You'll see it. It's cool. I like chess. I do enjoy a good game of chess. I'd rather play with people than the AI, but alas, when I played it, there was no one else on because I was just checking it out and I didn't bother asking anyone. It's a very cool game. I love the whole idea of seeing these chess pieces attack each other and you're kind of like working on a little chessboard and things like that. I think just in general, it's chess. There's not really much more I can say about how the game works. It's just more of the aesthetic they've went for. It's more like a magic style chess. Think of like Harry Potter with the scene where it's like, queen to this bit here, and then the queen attacks and pulls out a spear or something. It's like that. There's this magical
element. It has got hand tracking and voice commands as well, so you can actually voice command. I didn't try it properly myself, but
I didn't try voice command either because I was playing it while the missus was laying down, trying to go to sleep. So I was literally, because I can't play VR at the moment anywhere other than the bedroom. So it's like, so she was like, I'm going to lay down because I'm not feeling too well. I'm like, okay. And then there's me, she's like, oh, damn. He's taking my pawn, that bastard. You know, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, no, I was playing a game of chess. No, don't you worry, I'll be fine. So I was like, I couldn't test it all in that sense, but it was quite humorous because I was going, damn, this AI is really dumb. And the next day, it kind of like got better. And I was like, this fucking AI knows what he's doing.
The level 1 AI kicked my ass. I'm a rusty on terrible. Yeah, I went for level 1
in years.
No. But it's it's visually, I kind of like this standard. It's got a little bit of motion blur on the board when you're moving.
Yeah,
a little bit. Which when I like the arena level, because the arena level you're like in a big amphitheater and you see giant versions of the chessboard down below, and you see those moving. But it reminds me of battle chess back in for us oldies.
Yeah,
battle chess back in the day, on the Commodore Amiga and things.
Or if you're one of the younglings, then you can think of it as Harry Potter chess,
Harry Potter.
The movie.
Or like that Star Wars chess,
Anything that's a bit magical, just think of it like that. But no, it's very cool. And I definitely think it has a place. There's only one other chess game I played on VR, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was another chess game. I think it was one that was done by Odder's Lab. And I thought that was really good, but it's just like another take. It gives that kind of magical appearance and things like that. So, no, really well made.
It's linked to chess.com as well. So, for the professionals, you can get all your profile on there, rank matches, everything. So it's great
just
to see.
What you need.
Just what you need.
Exactly.
to get your ass kicked by a grandmaster just for laughs.
Yep. But no, it's let me put me glass on the floor, sorry, because literally it's covering my screen, so I can't read the next part. But yes, anyways, that is the last game we've been playing. It's quite a busy episode, to be fair, in terms of everything, because we went right in depth with some of the stuff. Probably maybe next time I'll
tell me to shut up.
Dim that down a little bit. No, absolutely fine. I think we've got a little bit of freedom here. Laurie's away. Who knows? Who knows who'll be on next episode?
You're the boss. You're the boss.
Who knows who we'll get on next episode? But
who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Hippie, it's absolutely lovely to get you back on to chat VR again with you, but this time more so than kind of getting to know you, but to also get you just chat along with the episode like it's something I would usually do, as opposed to having to guide the whole thing. I now see why Laurie wanted a break. This after 113 episodes would probably be a bit of a chore. No, it's actually been quite fun.
Yeah, but he just hosts it, and everybody else does all the hard work anyway, editing, don't they? Hosting's easy.
That's mean.
I'm only joking.
Laurie's hosting skills are impeccable.
Yeah.
So much so that we actually got some lovely feedback about him today, which is quite funny because I responded back saying, "Oh, it's a shame he's taking a little break," but the feedback just, it makes me realise just how damn good of a host he is in terms of keeping it very energetic and straight to the point and streamlined. Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
It brings you in and gives you a cuddle in a VR headset, and it's like, come and listen to what we've got to talk about today.
Exactly.
Hello, boys and girls.
Yeah,
we're like, put the fucking headset on. It's fucking great. On that note,
yes, right. Thanks again for listening. You messed me over now. Thanks again, everyone, for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you could please tell your friends and family about us. If you would like to get more involved, please don't hesitate to drop into the Discord and then talk about Ghost of Tabor, because, Ghost of Tabor, or just say hi like a regular person. But you can come in and just say Ghost of Tabor straight off the bat. It will instantly make me go, what? Anyways, if you've already done that, thank you so much. We appreciate it a lot. I've been your host, No, I haven't. I've been your host, Reece, and I've been joined by the one and only Hippie Pickle. And I'll see you again next time. Until then, it's goodbye.